Welcome to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and we make brand new treasures. So I have this embroidery sewing machine, and many years ago I embroidered pillowcases with the lyrics to Goodnight, My Someone, and from the Music Man. And I always loved that pillowcase, and I thought, what a cool craft project, theater craft project, for those of you who love musical theater, and maybe, potentially played Marion in Music Man, or just love the songs in general. So I thought today we would decorate pillowcases. Now I understand that not everyone has an embroidery sewing machine, so I thought instead of embroidering, we would paint them. So this is a pillowcase that I painted. It says Goodnight, My Someone on this side, and then on the reverse side I've added the next phrase, Goodnight, My Love. And so I'm going to show you how to paint these today so that you can transform your pillowcases into a memory of a show that you saw, that you were in, or give it as a wonderful gift to a friend. All right, so let's get crafting with pillowcases. Welcome back to the workbench. And so today we are going to paint, like I said, paint the pillowcases. And so let me just show you the one that I did up close before I get into materials for this. So what I did is I have just a plain white pillowcase, and you see Goodnight, My Someone, and then on the other side I have Goodnight, My Love, obviously from Music Man. And what I did is I chose a ribbon to just border the edge of the pillowcase, and then I used the colors that were in the ribbon to inspire the writing and the decoration on the pillowcase here. So the one that we're going to do today is I'm going to do I Dreamed a Dream from Les Mis. And so I was thinking, all right, what do I have? And I looked in my stash, and I've got this ribbon here, which seems, nighttime and dreamy. Very not very appropriate for Les Mis, but but I liked it. And so you're going to use your ribbon, and that's what really inspires your colors. And so I've chosen these colors here to go along with that ribbon. So that ribbon will border the edge of the pillowcase, and which I have right underneath, right here. So it'll go right along the edge of the pillowcase here. Obviously I have my paintbrushes, and I have a paper plate to put my paint on. You'll notice I have a magazine here, and I've drawn a line across the bottom of the magazine. That is so that I can basically I'm going to tape this in, and I'm going to put the magazine, I'll do it right now actually, on the inside of the pillowcase. And that's because potentially, and it may not, but potentially the colors could bleed through, and you want to make sure that it doesn't go through to the other side. So I've done the pillowcase there. Now the reason I drew a line is that way I can, make this straight here, that way I can see through. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see the line through the pillowcase, and that way I can have a straight line when I'm writing. Now this ribbon that I've got for today's pillowcase is quite a bit thicker than the one that I used, so I need to think about where am I going to place the words so that I can sew the ribbon on. So if you notice on the pillowcase that I have done here, I actually sewed the ribbon right on the outside of the pillowcase at the bottom. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one here. And I mean, you could actually put it on the edge, but then you've got the back of the ribbon, and I'm not sure I want that facing out. So I want to make sure that I've got enough space to write my words. So I don't know if you can see that the line is right there. And so I want to make sure that I've got that just pretty much centered. And then I'm actually going to take some tape. I have some tape here. I'm going to take some tape and I'm just going to tape this pillowcase to the magazine and even to my countertop. That way it doesn't move while I'm working, because it's, let's be real, it's paint, and you know, it's a situation where if you mess up, it is hard to go back. So so I am going to, there are ways that you can cover it up, don't get me wrong, but I want to make sure that I've got it kind of secured as much as I can. So I've got this, so I'm taping that right down to the mat here. Okay, so I can see the line right there. So that's that. Now, in terms of paint, you want to use paint that is appropriate for fabric. So I have a fabric paint. This is the paint that I'm using today. You can get this at any, craft store. You can, or something similar to it at a craft store, or you can get it online. I got mine online, and it's metallic, which I thought was really fun. So that is basically, needle and thread, or I'm going to use the sewing machine to adhere the ribbon to the pillowcase after we do the painting. So I want to do the painting first. So that's what we got going on. And then it's your design. You got to figure out what your design is going to be. So I'm inspired by the stars and the moon on the ribbon, which I think maybe I'll keep out here so we can use that as our inspiration. And that way, down so you can see a little bit better. So that way we can kind of go with the similar look, just like I did with this one here. So you see the flowers, and I had similar look to go with the flowers on that one. The other thing, and just so you notice here, I added some black. I did that with fabric markers. So I've got those here. I've got a variety of, it's a whole set that I have. I had it in my stash, and I just used black. I actually practiced, so I'll show you here. I practiced on another just piece of fabric just to see what colors I liked. And so I got I thought the black actually looked best on that one. And so I went with that. And I think I'm actually going to do the same color scheme for this one too, because of the blue in the ribbon. All right, so that's the basic lowdown on what you need. All right, let's get crafting. So as I said, I'm going to use the blue for this, and you just have to be really careful because, like I said, it's fabric paint and it does stain immediately or paints it immediately, so you want to be really careful. So I'm looking at my pillowcase and about center. So I dreamed a dream is what I'm going to write. So basically what I did is I actually counted the number of characters. So I space DREAMED space A space DREAM. So I got 17 characters. And so 18, so say 9. So I'm going to want to start here with 9 characters heading this way. So I space DREAMED. So I dreamed should be right around here. So we've got I dreamed a dream. So I think we'll probably start right around here just to make sure we have enough space. And if not, we can always add, if you end over here on the right hand side, either with too little or too much, we can always add elements to fill the space. So, all right, so now if you notice on the other one, I actually had kind of almost like a calligraphy kind of look to it, which is kind of what I'm going to go with here. But you can do just plain printing. You can do whatever works for you. Okay, so this, I have to say, is so nerve-wracking to do this. What if it doesn't come out the way you want it to? And the thing about, like I said, with the adding the black, like the shadows, you can actually fix some of the edges with that marker, the fabric marker. So don't get too anxious about it if this sort of thing stresses you out. All right, so now let's see. Dreamed. Okay, so I have finished I Dreamed a Dream, and it's almost centered. It's a little bit off. I've got a little bit extra on this end here. So now I'm going to add some details, and I'd like to add some stars. If you notice the way this ribbon, it has some stars, which is similar to the way the flowers are. And I'm going to show you, so the flowers, if you notice here, the way the petals are, I'm going to do the same kind of approach. So the way you do the petals on the flowers, or the way I'm going to do the stars here, I'm going to take the paint and I'm just going to put it on the paintbrush. Notice it's quite a thin paintbrush, and you're basically going to put it down on the palette, and you're going to lift up, and it's going to give you that what looks like a petal. So we're going to use it kind of as the star, the way the stars look. So we're going to try this. I'm going to see how it goes. So we don't have a ton of space, because remember, the ribbon is going to take up a good portion here. So we want to make sure that we kind of keep it up higher. So You can't see that. I'm so sorry. Move that way a little bit so you can see. So I press it down and lift it up. So it gives it kind of like a petal look. I actually reload every time because I want to make sure that I've got enough paint and I don't have to go back, if I can help it, go back and reload if I don't need to. So I'm going to give this 5 here so it looks kind of like a star. So so I'm going to make a bunch of the stars like this, and then I'll go on to the next color. And it's nice to do this, you know, if you notice, you can see this, it's kind of a longer paintbrush, the bristles there, and so it really does give you that star look. So I have a variety of stars here. I feel like this isn't quite enough, and when I did the other version, I added polka dots. So I'll show you what I did here. Okay. So I added polka dots. I feel like that kind of just kind of fills it in a little bit. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. So I'm going to go and I'm going to add polka dots in those different colors, and so hopefully that will make it a little bit more filled out. Okay, so I'm going to leave this. I think we've got a good amount. It's going to be right around there. So we'll have just at the band, we'll have plenty of stars and polka dots. So I'm going to leave this to dry. It takes a while for it to dry. I'm going to leave it for probably an hour to let this dry fully, and then we'll go to the sewing machine and we're going to sew the band on. I'll see you in a bit. So it's been about an hour, and I'm going to add a little bit of depth to the words. It's pretty dry. It's certainly not able to be washed or anything at this point. It takes a while for it to fully dry, but it's enough that I can certainly add the depth, like I said, with the other. You see the other one here, I added just a little black. I wasn't really particular about it. Just adding some along the edges. So I added it along the right-hand side. And this is, like I said, where you can really kind of, if you had any edges that weren't as crisp as you wanted them to be, you could certainly fix it here. And this is just to add a little bit of shadows. It'd be fun, just the look of it. And I'm not, you see, I'm not being very particular about it. It's amazing how just adding this really does give it a different look. Okay. I mean, you could really go all out with it. You know, one thing that I was thinking, on the example, I actually did both sides. I did Goodnight My Someone, Goodnight My Love, because that's the full line. This one, I'm just doing I Dreamed a Dream, but on the other side, you could actually, if you played the role of Fontaine, you could write with the pen, the fabric marker, you could write, you know, played Fontaine, and then the date and XYZ Theater Company. What a great keepsake, just to remember playing that role. I just think that would be really cool. All right, so now we're going to take this off, and then we're going to head to the sewing machine. Here we are at the sewing machine, and I'm starting to, I've got the pillowcase right there. I'm going to actually start on the back side. I just think it looks a little bit more put together, finished, if you use the back side as your starting point. And I'm going to do the edge first. So I've got dark thread in my machine. And I've got white thread on my bobbin just because of the white pillowcase. So, all right, so you put your presser foot down, and I'm going to start to sew. You'll see in a moment. And then I'm going to back stitch, and that's just to make sure that your stitches don't come out. Now, I am going to take this a little bit slowly because I want to make sure that I catch both underneath and the ribbon at the same time. And I don't want to have too much of a space, so you see that I'm pretty close to the edge of the ribbon. So I'm going to sew that, and when I get all the way around, I'm going to go all the way around. I will stop. I'm going to fast forward this, and I'll stop so that you can see the next part of what we're going to do. Okay, so I've gotten all the way around. You'll see this. I'm going to cut this off so that I've got a little bit of ribbon left over. I'm actually going to fold this over so that we don't have any raw edges seen. Okay, and then I'm actually going to, we'll see in a moment, I'm going to sew till I get to that edge. And then I'm going to, one more stitch, and then I'm going to pick up the presser foot and sew right along that edge till I get to the inside. Okay, then pick up the presser foot and go back. Now I'm going to go back around again, catching the other side of the ribbon. When you get to the end, you're going to make sure that you backstitch again, just to make sure you lock in those stitches. And then you we are done. And here they are, all done. Boy, are these so special. I just love this. If you've played Fantine in Les Mis, or if you've played Marion in The Music Man, these would be wonderful keepsakes. You could, personalize them with the show date and the company. You could give them as gifts. What a wonderful way to have something special that reminds you of the show, and it can be part of your daily routine. So I hope that you try these. And if you do, please send me pictures so I can see what you've done. So thank you for joining me for this week's Theater Craft. I hope that I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Good night, my someone.